I would like to invite now Redwood Region RISE, and that would be Amanda and Dawn to come up.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who haven't met me already, I'm Amanda, Pecanha, Technical Difficulties Hickey. Just give us a moment to get our PowerPoint loaded, and I'll let Dawn introduce herself.
Hi, Dawn Arledge, Executive Director for California Center for Rural Policy at Cal Poly Humboldt. CCRP is the acronym. If you hear, that's what it stands for. Thanks for giving us a little time. I'm a little nervous in front of this big group and super inspired because we love this region. We live here and we love it here. And we really value each of you, the contribution you make to making our community such an amazing place, our communities. Okay, so we're going to do a quick CERF update, and then we have lots of other great speakers coming up. So some basics on CERF is this is a $600 million investment by the state through State Bill. I can't read the number, and I forget the number, but it's up there. I'm like, since I last spoke in front of a group this big, my eyesight has changed a little bit. So centered in this work is equity and inclusion. We want to build economic resilience in the region. We're going to be coming up with an economic development plan, and then there are implementation funds to follow. So we're in a planning phase right now where we want to support the state moving toward carbon neutrality, and we want a resilient economy, and we want everyone who lives here to be able to benefit from that.
Yeah, I just want to echo a huge thank you to everyone who helped us think through putting this together. It was put on all the regions to figure out how we want to collaborate and how we can center these diverse partners and table in a way that's meaningful and give everyone a place to speak to their corner of economic development, which is a field that touches us all, right? And so without further ado, this is our High Road Transition Collaborative, which just means a group of people getting together to pursue a vision for those thriving wage careers and a shift to carbon neutrality that Dawn queued up at the top. And the takeaway that we'd like folks to walk away with here is that there are 5 planning tables that comprise our High Road Transition Collaborative. So we have, very importantly, our tribal planning table and our local planning tables. And those are places where folks can really elevate the things that they're seeing going on in their communities, the projects that they think can advance us towards those goals that they want to see touch ground at home where they are, and the strategies that they would like to see built into our regional approach. And so that really grounds us in this work, those planning tables, our local tables, and the tribal planning tables. They elevate those priorities up to our sector planning tables. And I like to say that this is, kind of where the action is in the respect that they have to take that information and make it make sense for our priority sectors that we're looking to deliver those jobs and those developments for our community. And so that's the allied health and caregiving sector, arts, culture, tourism, renewable and resilient energy, where we know we have so many good things happening all along our coast that we're going to hear about over the course of the next 2 days. And of course, so dear to all our hearts, our working lands and blue economy, those forests, those farms, those fisheries that really make this place what it is, correct? So they are going to be developing those regional projects, and at the end of some of that work, or at that point in the cycle, they bring forward a slate of projects to the voting member block to make some implementation decisions. And that voting member block really delivers what we want to see in terms of regional balance, in terms of inclusion of specific partner groups, and so that we can say that the decisions that come out of this are reflective of what folks across this region really wanted to see. And so there's some balance there. The choice architecture happens in the first 3 tables. The implementation decision made ultimately in the voting block. And with them, for the ride the whole way, is our Equity Council, which is just so important. They're a group of community members who have stepped forward to really be our moral compass, to be reflecting on this process and say, hey, is this achieving what it needs to achieve for our disinvested communities, which is so key. They're supported by a group we're calling, this was a working title that became an official title, the Cross-Cutting Experts. So those are folks who have expertise in business development and entrepreneurship, in housing development, in broadband and digital equity. What else? Yeah, those are, I think, the major things. To make sure that we're taking those enabling environment considerations into account as we build out these plans, and really what's a vision more than a plan, I would say, for our region. Tables and our tribal planning tables, as we said, surfacing those local priorities and projects, bringing them up to our sector tables to do some strategizing around how we get to the regional level, putting together that project slate and an inventory of those SERF-aligned projects, bringing them to our voting member block, and that Equity Council providing oversight and a moral compass to us along the way. So how are we centering equity in this process? I'm going to turn it over to Dawn.
We have amazing partner in North Coast Opportunities. We are looking at disinvested communities broadly, not just through quantitative data, but looking at specific populations that we know have been historically and currently marginalized. We have in the Equity Council, and we call upon all of us to do this work, because work on equity cannot be in a silo. It has to be baked into everything we do. There are a lot of opportunities to get involved. Anyone can come to our monthly meeting and learn more and engage. As you saw on the slide, there are many opportunities to plug in. And we're moving quickly because I happen to know we have some amazing speakers coming up next that I cannot wait to hear from. Yeah, 100 people yesterday. We did a big working session. We did it on Zoom. We did it here. We talked about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. We looked at our industries, and we got a huge amount of qualitative information via 2,000 Post-its. So now we have the obligation to not let those Post-its fall on the ground and end up in our office under the desk, but we're going to do something with them. All right, Amanda's going to wrap us up with a little bit about the next round of funding that's coming.
Thank you, Dawn. So yeah, this is not monopoly money that we get to play with, and we really appreciate the way the state has rolled this out, giving us an opportunity to make real decisions together right from the jump. And the Catalyst Fund is a big part of that. So you see it's about those three major pillars that we're talking about: equity and inclusion, incorporating community voice and decision making; that climate and sustainability by prioritizing funding for those projects that shift us to carbon neutral, support climate adaptation; and of course, shared prosperity by creating pathways to thriving wage jobs. And the senator did a great job of queuing some of this up, the kind of resources that we are hoping to shape, right, how we use them. It's that historic investment into communities that we're anticipating peaking around 2025 from the federal government, $190 billion in federal funding coming to California, and that $48 billion from California's climate commitment. So we have $14 million for our HRTC. $9 million of that is for project pre-development activities. So those projects that maybe don't have their feasibility studies ready, don't have all their environmental permitting done, maybe they're just more in the idea phase, help us get that project closer to becoming a reality for a disinvested community somewhere in our region, and the process that will follow through that governance mechanism that we spoke about earlier. We still really need to get to know all of you better, and we've so appreciated you being with us for this messy ride. We're doing planning, we're doing implementation at the same time. There's a lot to be done by the expenditure deadline of October 2026. Please, you'll notice that there's a QR code on each of those tables. We'd love to get to know you via our partner survey. there's a lot of demands on your time, so we wanted to sweeten the deal a little bit, and we're going to do a drawing for an $100 gift card that's burning a hole in my backpack right now. So please fill out a survey. We're going to do that drawing tomorrow. And Dawn, any parting words for us?
Thank you. Thank you all for letting us be in this space with you. It's a privilege for our center to do this work alongside all of you.